Well, my personal story would be I've been through quite a lot. I've had a heart attack, a couple of them, and I bypassed surgery. And also at the same time I was dealing with lupus. I had one of my grandchildren and I had walked just around the corner, taking a walk for exercise. So we walked back to the house. As soon as I stepped on the porch, I went blind and I couldn't see, and I was just so thankful that we didn't go any further. And she was real little, she was about 2 maybe. I was feeling all around, and we just sat in the doorway. I found my way to the doorway and I just sat there, and so happened my daughter came, and my daughter and them called the ambulance and everything, so that was really scary. If I could turn back the clock, I would have really paid attention to my family history a lot more, and I never thought that it would happen to me. I had everything right in front of me, all this information, and I just didn't really take it seriously. And if I would have, maybe the things that I've gone through would be a whole lot different. My mother died. I don't think that she had all the things that were available now, but she needed a heart transplant. And so she died in her 60s, early 60s. And her mother, heart trouble too. All the sisters basically bypasses. They're passed on now too, also. So it runs in the family. I had like blood clots in my heart, blood clot on the brain. I was really lucky. And I'm just so thankful that, you know, they have the medicines, they can do what they can do now. It saved me. I think that over the years, the heart treatment has gotten a whole lot better, and they're able to do so much more than they did, you know, maybe 20 years ago. As a smoker, it was really hard for me to stop. I would advise anyone not to smoke. It's the hardest thing to stop. It's an addiction. It really is very hard. And I came from a family of smokers. My father smoked, my mother smoked, everybody smoked. If I could tell someone else, you know, give them advice about what to do, I would just say that really take care of yourself and exercise and eat right, and because you will benefit from it. Sometimes you just have to bear with what God's given you and just use it for the good. All the experiences I've gone through, somebody else has gone through something worse. And I just feel like that there is a solution and there is hope, and it's helped me.
My mother had heart problems, and she also had some leg problems and vascular problems with her legs and blood clots. She had a stroke after open heart surgery. My brother, he's diabetic and he's had several strokes. And my sister had double knee replacements, and in the process of her therapy, she ended up having a clot, and it passed through her heart and stopped just prior to the lung, which was a miracle because that saved her when it stopped. Of the family, I'm the only one that was not diabetic, and I always felt that I did eat a lot healthier than the rest of my family. So no, I didn't consider, you know, it's just like when you go out to drive and you always, you know, your parents always say, you know, be careful about accidents. Well, you think it's never going to happen to you. October 3rd, I went to bed and was feeling fine, not a problem. And about 4:30 in the morning, I woke up and I thought something wasn't quite right and could not quite figure out what it was. My right hand was over top of my right part of my forehead. And so I tried to move it and it wouldn't move. So then I tried to move my right hand. Well, that moved. You know, it's like, okay, it's 4:30, I'm sleepy. I just was kind of disoriented. And so I ended up moving my left hand with my right hand, and I just kept thinking, something's not right here. And when I got up, I immediately fell because my left side was not working. And when I fell, I woke my husband up, and he was trying to talk to me, and I was trying to formulate some words, and I could not get the words out and think, how do I say I'm on the floor? It was a very difficult thing, confusing. So he came over and turned on the light and tried to help me get up, and that's when we realized the left side of my face was drooping, and he says, I think you're having a stroke. It was very shocking, but I mean, I kind of knew I was, but it was kind of unbelievable, a very life-changing event. It impacts every aspect of your life, from physical to emotional, to your speech, your thought processes. And prior to that, I had joined Weight Watchers because I felt that I needed to do something. I was from stress. I was kind of a stress eater there, and so I wanted to lose weight. And prior to the stroke, I'd lost like 25 pounds, and since then I've lost 60. I also try to do things that make me happy, that relax me. I love to sew and quilt, so I've kind of made myself a sewing room, which is my escape. I call it my happy place. Today I'm feeling, I'd say, pretty good. I still have, issues day to day sometimes. Sometimes are great days. I feel I'm about 90% back to maybe where I was before. And just deal with those every day, hour to hour sometimes. Being a survivor of a stroke is a blessed miracle. A piece of advice for having a stroke or trying to prepare that you possibly might have a stroke, I would say, in a place that I never really thought, is to educate yourself about a stroke and try to, learn more about it. I mean, something that when you're young and you're moving fast in your life, you don't think things like that's going to happen. You don't take the time to learn. I've always knew what to recognize when people have a stroke. I've been around people that have strokes, so that part, but it just connecting it to yourself is something totally unexpected. So I would say learning and having that education of how to keep preventive, even though you might not be a candidate for having a stroke, I would think would be the best advice I could offer to anybody that has not had that experience.
Survivor means to me that you are overcoming whatever you need to. It's not necessarily whether you're overcoming your health or a school issue or a problem that you can't face. It's overcoming what you need to face. So anyone can have their survivor moment, but for me, overcoming my health and being able to become open about it and share with it is what makes me a survivor, and that I am here today to share my story. Well, it all began when I was first born. As my mom would say, she thought she was a normal girl. I went home fine, and a few weeks or days later, my mom just didn't think something was quite right and went to the doctor, and as they did more tests and more figuring things out, they found out that I have congenital heart defect, which there were multiple things at that point which was wrong. My heart really wasn't a size of a normal child's heart at that point. I had irregular beats, my valves weren't quite as good, and there were just a whole bunch of things at that point. I have something called a pacemaker, which keeps my heart in beat with what you would say a normal kid's heart is at. So it keeps it at a normal, steady rate. So that gets replaced every once in a while. So luckily, as the years go on with technology, it's slowed down. So now maybe every 4 or 5 years is a surgery. Back in May when I had my surgery, I had actually seen a video of another woman dancing into the OR, and it just inspired me so much. So when I went for my tour at Cleveland Clinic, I asked the lady, I said, "Can I dance going into the OR?" And she kind of looked at me for a little bit, and then she said, "What do you mean?" And I kind of explained that to her that, I saw this video and I want to play a song that I pick that really means a lot to me and enjoy going into the OR. Not necessarily focus on death, but focus on life and focus on how much you've accomplished. She okayed it. They talked to the doctors, And I went in with my anesthesiologist and with my family and friends. They were very nice in letting my mom and family come back. And we hit play on this song called Pumping Heart, and it's all about your heart, it's alive and it's pumping blood, and we felt that that really suited me. So I made a dance to it. I just hopped on into the OR and I danced all the way in with a smile on my face. I think transitioning into this and being able to tell my story and sharing today and sharing, the surgeries that I've had in the past and how other people can learn from this has really helped me and also other people as well. So anything that does with my heart, I always make sure to incorporate it into my life or to others so that they can learn from this experience. It's not just mine, it's yours as well. I think my confidence not only comes from other people, like my mother or my father or family and friends, but just from going through all this. So if you go through this alone, you can learn some confidence and be able to show others and speak about it, but having other people to help you is a whole different thing. So combining those two together just makes it even more amazing. So I have the confidence to talk to you today, to stand up and to talk to many people about my defect because I understand it. And when I understand it, I feel like it is my job to share with others so that they can learn about it too. The message I would share to women around and also children is just that don't hide it. I always like to show it, and if someone asks me about myself, that's the first thing I say because I think it's a proud thing to show. You have gone through so much and it's what makes you you. And I think today I am here because of the strength that I have got and because of other people helping me, and that's what makes me, me.
The reason why I go red is to live longer.
I go red to celebrate life, to have that second chance, and to be able to perform my life and do the things that mean so much to you that you don't think about prior to your stroke, to be able to carry those very precious moments out with your family, friends.
My heart is why I go red.